Hi, this is Matthew Povey with Aubrey Wodonga Counseling and Hypnotherapy. Today I'm actually just going to run through a really quick technique I've been using with a couple of my clients in the last couple of weeks, which has been really effective, especially coming into the new year and there's a lot of stress and anxiety. So I want to get to the technique and I'll quickly explain after I've demonstrated how this works, how it actually works with the body and mind and the purpose behind it. The idea is reducing stress and anxiety. So it's a really simple 2 to 3 part technique, and you can take different elements of this in different ways. But what I encourage people to do in the first step is just first take a few moments, get yourself relaxed, and choose a point just above your eye level. So somewhere just above here in the distance where you're able to actually focus your eyes and attention and expand your peripheral vision, because we don't often spend time looking what's around us and we tend to focus what's right in the narrow between us. So just spend a few moments while you're watching this and get yourself comfortable to just find that particular spot just above eye level, just so it's comfortable, but expand your peripheral vision out so you can notice the other things around your vision that we wouldn't usually pay attention to. So I can currently see where I'm sat that there's objects over here and there's objects over here that I'm having to pay extra attention to. And the second part of this technique is a really simple one that you probably all know and do really well, is just taking a few gentle breaths as you're doing that. So I usually just get people to take 3 gentle breaths in and out, in and out, and in and out, while just having that vision focused externally and peripherally. And as you do that, what I want you to start to do as you breathe is to take your hands, and you can do this in different ways. One way you can do it if you're out in public is just to cross your arms, and as you've got your vision actually looking out, tap your right and your left hand as you breathe and look out. Another great way to do this, if you're in the comfort of your own home and you can do this, is just put your hands on your thighs and your legs, and then just tap your right hand, your left hand, your right hand, your left hand. You can even do this with your feet. So as you actually, I'll demonstrate it this way so you can see me on the camera, as you actually have your vision and your breathing, you're doing this. Now, what I usually get people to do is practice this for about 30 seconds to 3 minutes a couple of times a day. And usually before you wake up, not before you wake up, when you wake up and before you go to bed are fantastic times. And then other times during the day where you might notice you get stressed. And this is what this technique is great at doing, is reducing our levels of stress and anxiety that we may experience in anything in relation to chronic pain. If you've got a history of trauma, and I use this with some of my trauma clients, the ability to actually use this technique to lower our levels of anxiety down. And even if you're just out and about at work or something like that where you might be under extra pressure, the reason this works, it's really great because you're doing a lot of things. The first one, by extending your vision out, we're actually accessing a part of the brain here that allows us to disconnect a little bit and at the same time open our awareness up to what's going on around us. And this is based in some of the mindfulness strategies we do, as well as other techniques. The second part of the breathing, as everyone knows, like just doing controlled breathing can help reduce our oxygen levels and reduce our levels of stress and anxiety that we experience. And then the final part of the technique, the tapping, is really interesting and is in lots of different therapies in different ways, from NLP, hypnosis, psychotherapy, trauma processing therapy, and EMDR. But the idea is you're actually utilizing using your right and left brain, because if you weren't aware, the left side of the brain controls the right side of the body, and the right side of the brain controls the left side of the body. So what we're actually doing by doing this is actually engaging both hemispheres of the brain and then creating a multi-layered process, which is simple, easy to do, and you can teach others to actually then lower our what we call the sympathetic nervous system, which is the part that gets activated and aroused due to stress, and it actually then induces a relaxation response using these 3 things. But a lot of people often find even doing one of these 3 things or 2 of these things, 3 things together can be sufficient. So I really ask you just to teach this to other people, pass on the message, and it's all about empowering others as well as empowering ourselves. And have a great day.